5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're in.
Bienvenido a la segunda parte de Carnival Magic.
I don't know what he just said, but sup? Welcome back to a Nervous Wreck. I'm Ashley. This is...
I'm Zach.
And we are here to talk to you about our first 2 day at ports. So we had 4 port days. 8-day Carnival Magic cruise. Got on a Saturday. Sea day Saturday. Sea day Sunday. Monday. Hit St. Martin. Tuesday, St. Thomas. Wednesday, Puerto Rico. Why am I at 5 when there's only so many days? Puerto Rico. Then we went to the Dominican Republic. Had a fun day back at sea on Friday.
They got kicked off the ship.
And wait, I never got kicked off the ship.
We all did.
Then we all we got kicked off the ship. I was like, we didn't get kicked off the ship, did we? Zach, is there a secret? So we're gonna talk about our first 2 days at port because there's way too many things to talk about on all 4. So our first 2 are gonna be St. Martin, St. Thomas. A little bit of preface on why we booked each excursion. So in St. Martin, we did an adrenaline rush excursion through Carnival. We were supposed to go on the Flying Dutchman zip line, which is the steepest zip line in the world. We did a previous trip to Puerto Rico, and Zach's one thing he wanted to do was zip line. We couldn't do it, so we knew that was a priority. Saw it in St. Martin, booked it. We also got to go to Kohi Beach and see the airplanes on that guy. Spoiler alert, canceled. St. Thomas, Zach is an avid scuba diver. I did that for the first time in Puerto Rico. This time I wanted to snorkel and just be able to kind of take it in without...
It was like a catamaran?
It was a catamaran, so we did a catamaran in St. John. Also, I heard great things about St. John, and I was like, well, why not? Let's go to St. John. Spoiler alert.
Canceled!
Canceled! Canceled! Day 3, Puerto Rico. We knew what we wanted to do in San Juan, so we didn't book an excursion. Day 4, Dominican Republic. Coolest excursion, really actually glad we did it. It was the Dama Agua waterfalls in Monkeyland. We'll get there. Main point of this video is canceled. Canceled. What do you do as a first time cruiser? So
Canceled.
Canceled. A little bit of a preface. Our catamaran from St. Thomas to St. John excursion was $94.99 a person. That got canceled like October 1st. So
yeah, prior to us leaving.
Prior to the cruise. So I received an email, corresponded with them. I could either get a refund back on the gift cards that we purchased through raise.com, holler at them, or we could leave it as onboard credit. Honestly, I chose to leave it as onboard credit to book another excursion, and I'm still not sure if I've been refunded on those gift cards. I'm still working on that. He doesn't really know all that, so... Working on it. We might be owed a refund, or we may have used it on onboard credit and not realized it, so I'm still working through that. One thing that happens the first night that you get on the boat, Zach just pulled out our receipts. He's going to go through it and look through it. So you get this print off the night before you leave of every single thing that you purchase or charges to your account.
We're skipping ahead a little bit.
We're skipping ahead a little bit. So Zach's gonna go through that, and I'm gonna talk about. We'll do it later. So the first night that you get on the boat, on the ship, I apologize. I've been watching vlogs, and I've been clearly told it's a ship, not a boat. So if I keep saying boat, oh, crap. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And
we're back.
We're back. The mess is cleaned up. The dogs are happy. Everything is fine. So, preface, I just want to say that once Cassandra...
That's not her name.
Her name's Cassie, sorry. When she's sassy, we call her Cassandra. No offense to all the Cassandras out there. You're probably not sassy, but you never know. You might be. It's her sassy name. So, basically, St. Thomas was canceled before we got on the boat. I spent a lot of time researching. We knew we wanted to snorkel on that day. Planned it, knew what I was going to do. Also, I just want to say right now, a lot of people are going to tell you not to do excursions or travel too far away from the boat if it's not through Carnival or the ship you're sailing. One thing that we did is if we needed to be back at the boat by 5, we left the location we were at 2.5 to 3 hours early to make sure we got back.
2 hours, yeah.
2 hours, which ended up being great because we got to go to the ports and some of the shops at the ports. So just a little bit of advice. If everyone's kind of scaring you away from doing your own thing when you get off the boat,
don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Some of the best things that we did, we were actually, after we got out of St. Martin, we were like, should we have booked excursions through Carnival? Should we have just done our own thing? Still not sure. I don't know. We had great experiences through both. We'll get to our actual Carnival excursion in the next video. So, first day, that first night that you're on the boat, you have a mailbox at your door, which we didn't realize. It's on the side of the door. And they put our excursion tickets in there. So, we had these bad boys. Sunday night, we got, this is White Claw ad as well. So, St. Martin. Yeah, Zach, you want to do it for me? You get these little tickets in there. We also had our tickets for Agua Falls and Monkeyland in there.
Wait, are those the canceled ones?
And these were the canceled ones that we got to keep because it was
Canceled!
So the night before, we got back from dinner and there was a nice little pink slip under our door. And I was like, shit, are we going to get kicked off the boat already? What did we do? We opened it. And sure enough, our excursion for St. Martin was canceled as well. So right now we're batting 2 out of 3. 2 out of the 3 that I pre-booked canceled. The tickets.
One was the night before.
Yeah, one was the night before. So St. Martin was $119.99 per person. That was refunded back to our onboard credit account. So we had that to spend. Again, I'm still not sure about St. Thomas. I really need to look into that. This video is making me think, hey, where is our money from St. Thomas? Because we only had one thing refunded to our onboard credit, but we'll get there at some other point in time. I need to stop saying so. I'm going to have to edit this out.
So canceled!
Boom! We wake up and we are in St. Martin. There's going to be a video right here that I'm going to edit this out on. So here's going
Martin.
St. Martin.
St.
There are 2 sides to St. Martin, if you don't know this. So there is the Dutch side of St. Martin and then the French side of St. Martin. We spent most of our time on the Dutch side. So you can see my shirt clearly says Dutch Caribbean on there. I don't think we made it to the French side at all.
We drove through it.
We drove through it. So our original excursion in St. Martin, we were supposed to do...
The angry taxi driver told us.
Oh, the angry taxi driver.
We'll get there.
We loved the people we met in St. Martin. It was fantastic. So once our thing was canceled, our excursion was canceled, we were like, well, shit, I'm gonna still at least go to Kohi Beach and see the airplanes. That was the one thing that I knew was part of our excursion we could get to. So that was our plan for the day. And we got off the boat.
The great part was we didn't have to wake up early and figure out how to disembark, and because we'd done it before.
Yeah, we had no idea. So when you disembark, you, at least at this port and every other...
Is that called disembarking?
I guess. We're going to go with it. You're disembarking, you're getting off the ship.
Excursion barking.
Barking, excursion barking. Hashtag TM.
Discursion.
Discursion. TM. So we had to go to floor 1. And I will tell you,
Zero.
Was it 0?
0.
I thought it was the first floor.
It was 1. So after we check this, we can just put in. It was floor 1.
1? Yeah.
It was floor 0.
So the one thing I'm going to tell you, we were on, our room was 9247. Those elevators are wild on port days trying to get down there. So I think we gave up halfway through waiting for an elevator and just walked to the first floor, floor 0, whichever.
It's easy to go downstairs.
It was easy to go down the stairs. If you had to wait for an elevator, we understand. But for us, we were very easily able to walk down the flights of stairs and just walk right off the boat. So you walk through, was it a metal detector you walk through?
When you leave?
Yeah, I think you still walk through a metal detector.
Well, you walk through it, but it's not on.
Yeah, so there was a metal detector, and then they do tell you to bring your, like a state ID passport, something like that, and then a COVID card.
Your ID, your COVID card, and then your boarding pass.
Yeah, your Carnival card as well. Those are the 3 things you need. Our IDs were never really checked, I think because of the facial recognition from the Carnival cards.
Right.
So they just would scan your Carnival card, a picture of you pops up on the screen. They tell you, embarkation day, that this photo will never be seen again. Mine was terrible. And I was like, ugh.
Every day.
Every day I saw that stupid photo that they took, even though they told me I would never see it again. So heads up, if you hate that photo, I looked like that is how I looked. I was tired. It was a long day. So we got off the boat at St. Martin, and once you get off, we found St. Martin has a really cool port, actually. Probably the least exciting when we got off. San Juan doesn't really have a port.
You heard the music. Was that one? Or was that St. Thomas?
That was St. Thomas. I was excited for St. Thomas. But anyway, St. Martin. So we got off the boat. There was a super rad bar, and the official fruit or drink in St. Martin is the guava berry. So we both got a guava berry frozen mixed drink, and they were like, what, $7, $6 a piece? Pretty cheap.
Wasn't wild.
It wasn't wild.
Still tourist prices, but
we didn't feel like we got. Like it was probably what I would have paid at a bar locally. So from there, we hung a right, and there was an entire area for taxis. And as Zach said, we didn't worry about getting off super, super early. I gotta say.
Continue.
So we didn't worry about getting off the boat super early, but by the time we had gotten off, unfortunately, there was no one else at the port or the taxi area, so we couldn't get anybody else to group share with us. So the price per person was $10 per person to get to Maho Beach, and he did tell us if more people came,
I think it went down to $8.
It went down to
for 4%. So all the prices, I think, are posted right there. And there's a main taxi stand. There'll be people asking you where you're trying to go. I think we were the only cruise ship in the port then.
So when we arrived, we were the only cruise ship there. When we left, Royal Caribbean had docked at some point in time, which is a really cool ship to see, by the way. At some point, I really hope we can get on a Royal Caribbean ship, because it looked dope, and I feel like they
also looking at you, Royal Caribbean.
I feel like we followed the same cruise path as Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, we were chasing each other.
We were chasing each other the entire time. It was kind of fun. So at night, when it was super dark, you could see Royal Caribbean sort of following us way out in the distance in the sea.
We were winning.
We were winning. We were the winners. Carnival. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
So we got our taxi to Maho Beach. Granted, I understand this is probably the most tourist thing we could have done, but it was something that as a child I saw on the Travel Channel. I saw the Real Housewives travel there, and I just wanted a taste of that luxury. I just wanted to see one plane come over my head like this. And it was definitely...
I just wanted mild hearing damage.
Just slight.
Possibly getting hit by a car on this tiny road.
It was extreme. But it was dope. So for $20, the taxi took us there. We got off. You end up at a beach called Sunset Bar, and they have a really rad surfboard right when you walk in that has all of the flight times and the flight landings. And if I haven't inserted the clip of me with the airplane over my head, you'll probably see it right now.
Sorry, I just in case you didn't put it in there.
It was terrifying to... Not terrifying.
No, I was just trying to be you.
Oh. That's what I did. I was excited.
That's what she looked like.
So we got to that Sunset Bar, and so the first thing we wanted to do was we wanted to get a drink before we went to the beach. That's outrageous. We can't ghost on the beach without a beer. I stood in that line. Zach walked away. He got anxious. And I tried standing up on my chair.
Anxious wasn't a word.
I did. I don't know what was the word, Zach? Angry? Irritated? Yeah. Okay. So I did everything possible. They had these really cool frozen drinks at a separate bar, and it said you could order them. And one of them was called the Jet Fuel. It had coconut, 151, Finally get this bartender's attention. I'm like, I want the jet fuel. And he's like, sorry, you can't get that at this bar. You have to get it at that one. And I looked over there and I was like, there's nobody working. And I had to pause and be like, you are on island time. You are on these people's schedules. Don't be mad. I'll take a bucket of Corona. So we got a bucket of Coronas for $17. And then we awkwardly like walked around this little beach bar, and all the cool stuff is to your right. If you're facing the ocean, you're gonna walk to the right and you're gonna see all like the tiny beach, it's like that much beach, and then a bunch of rocks. And then there's this gnarly road, and then the airport is on the opposite side of that road.
What is it's not a wave break, but yeah, they built up just a rock wall basically to protect against, stuff that comes in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Like some crazy waves.
Crazy waves.
So yeah, the actual sand part is probably a foot that then during high and low tides they end up breaking on those rocks anyway. So there's nowhere to actually like sit or like lay out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we stashed our stuff up in some rocks and wandered around.
And then we had that bucket of beers, so we walked up to a gentleman that was working there, and I was like, can I take these over to the beach, or do we have to stay under this enclosure? Because it's like an outdoor open beach, but there's very clearly like a line where that restaurant ends. And he was like, nah, just don't leave it. Take it with you, but please bring it back. And I was like, definitely can do that. We will make sure that we return it.
Coming from an oceanfront town, usually glass on a beach is
a no-no. So we were very surprised that we were allowed to have
sure
those glass bottles on the beach. But we drank our 3 Coronas each. I will say we brought our beer into the water, and I very clearly remember a wave coming over my Corona and me being like, oh, it's like a salted rim, and then trying to drink the rest of the that water is salty. Oh, it is salty. That water is a different level. If you're used to like this mid-Atlantic beach crap like we are, the water down there, the salt content is so much higher.
Briny.
It's briny. It is.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. So I ended up getting rid of half a Corona.
She drank it.
I did drink it. I did it. I drank my salty Corona. So then we were just sitting there on the beach. We brought our bucket back and we looked towards our right. Again, we're facing the ocean at this point. If you look towards your right, maybe like a quarter mile down, the beach is a little bit more empty. And I do want to say, again, we were the only cruise. We were the only ship there at this time. Here, so if you're facing the ocean, like the ocean is in front of me this way, you're gonna look to your right. I'm looking this way. There was like...
That's her right, actually, if you're looking at us. Oh no, it's mirrored, so maybe it should be the same right.
I really hope so. You're looking to your right. So if you're facing me, and this is weird, flip yourself around, put yourself in my shoes, and look to your right. You're gonna see some beach chairs, and then there was like a tiny little bar down there, and we noticed no one was really down there, and we were like, let's walk down there. So after waiting 50 minutes to get service at the Sunset Bar, we walked up to this little tiny bar, insert photo here, and we were served immediately. We got served the mojitos that the other bar said that they couldn't make. And then we took those and walked right around a little bend, and there were these beach chairs. There were only like 6 of them. Every 2 had an umbrella. We got our umbrella. We enjoyed our mojitos. We went in the water, and even cooler, you could take your photo in front of this super rad mural that said, I love St. Martin.
Turtles.
Yeah, insert photo here. I took 7. Maybe 9. Zach his picture taken. I tried, but Zach didn't. He wasn't into it.
Do it.
At all. So we got to see all these super rad planes come overhead. We finally found a place of like comfort where we could be alone and we weren't surrounded by a bunch of party animals or people trying to gawk and get their selfies in front of the airplane. Again, no shade because I did that immediately when we got there, but once it was done, I didn't really need any more. And then it came time to get back to the boat. So again, our call time at this port was 5 o'clock. So I would say around like 3 o'clock. We saw an accident, I believe, on our way there. And he was like, well, this is a 2-lane road. So traffic's going to be backed up for like an hour and a half. And mentally...
So I think they basically go up the mountain and back down to get to the other side where Kohi Beach was. And he was like, oh yeah, this is going to make traffic terrible. And all it was like a fender bender with a taxi. But he's like, that's going to back it up for over an hour.
So this is where with that planning to make sure that you're not a pier runner and making sure that you're not going to miss your boat. Like you hear those little factoids and you're like, you know what? I probably, instead of leaving an hour early, I should leave 2 hours early to make sure I'm back just on the safe side. And again, if you're a risk taker, I mean, do you?
So the taxi drivers wear yellow shirts who are
good call. I forgot about the yellow shirts.
Taxis.
Yeah.
So when you get off the boat, ship. Oh, shucks.
Oh, shucks.
When you're on the pier, there's a taxi stand there, and it has a whole list of prices, as we said before. They're wearing yellow shirts.
Yeah, they were wearing, I didn't even think about it, but they were all wearing yellow shirts. Very specific license plates as well.
So we got there, no problem, did our thing. And walking back, there's a taxi area next to...
Sunset Bar.
Yeah. So... adjacent to that, basically there's a huge parking lot and taxis pull in there and you can get your taxi. Walking up the road where like the planes are flying overhead and they'll stop in the middle of the street and ask you if you need a taxi.
Yeah.
But be careful.
So we learned very quickly, we got into a legitimate St. Martin taxi, yellow shirt, legitimate.
He wasn't wearing a yellow shirt, he was wearing a polo shirt, and that's what made me worried.
Oh, crap.
But he grabbed us right as we were walking, but the other guys knew him.
Yeah, the other guys knew him. He was with like the other taxi guys, so we felt safe. So basically, they wait to try to fill up their air. It was I want to say this too, it was an air-conditioned, decently newer, nice-ish van. He was very specific on making sure that we wiped all the sand off of our entire bodies.
And then laid towels over everything in the back.
Before we could get in that van.
I feel like he was like...
I feel like he was like you.
Taxi XL
I feel like
driver.
he was like you. I feel like that would be you if you were doing taxi rides. You'd be like, get that sand out of my damn car. Absolutely not.
They'd have to put plastic bags.
Yeah, I feel like that would be Zach's protocol. But we had to dust all the sand off us. We got in there and he was trying to get more people in the cab. And he had finally given up and was just going to take us back to the boat. And then he starts driving and he looks to his left, puts that car in park, and just starts yelling out the window.
He had asked, he saw a group of guys. He asked if they needed a taxi. And they're like, no, we're getting in with them. And it was parked next to the place we liked. Whatever that bar was.
The bar to the right.
He just started yelling, "Gypsy! Gypsy!"
Do not get in the van with them. They are not a licensed taxi. They are gypsies. And the people that were they were on, I think, Royal Caribbean. They were not on our boat. But they just looked confused because our guy was telling them this van is not valid. It's basically people were trying to create Uber down there without having Uber. So people were doing their own rideshare programs where they would just drive down there and say, get in our car. To the point that our cab driver was so angry. He
started filming him and then got out of the car, parked in the middle, blocking. Remember, this is one lane each way. Was blocking complete traffic and got out and was recording him, recording the car. And then it was a woman driver, and then I guess a guy was with her and came around and got in his face and was trying to take his phone.
He took the phone at one point, and then our cab driver went like that, and I was like, I wish we recorded this. And I know it's unfortunate, like I don't wish I recorded it, but also it was wild to see how competitive, and I think it really drives home with these cruise ports being closed for so long. These people need your money.
Yeah.
They desperately, like, this is how they live and how they thrive. And I think somebody else coming in and trying to take his profit ticked him off to the point that he was willing to leave us in that van and beat that guy's ass over the fact that he was a gypsy taxi driver.
A gypsy.
Yep. And then he got back in the car and he was...
And then he turned back around and went back towards them.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He was trying to block them in over by the taxi area so they couldn't leave so he'd get the other taxi friends to come.
And this is why you leave where you are early to get back to your boat.
So this added probably 20
30 minutes. Yeah. If not more.
To our ride. I mean, it was a spectacle for sure, but we wanted to make sure we got back to the boat on time.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful ride. It was cool. It was cool to see the island, and it was very interesting to hear our taxi driver talk about what's going on the island.
Honestly, all our ports, ask your taxi drivers questions, and
that's going to be some of the realest conversation and some of the most real moments that you have is talking to your shuttle drivers, taxi drivers.
It seems like the excursions have like their own kind of scripted thing where they're trying to point stuff out to you, but especially just taking the smaller taxis, you can ask them where they're from on the island and like background. And
he gave us some really cool info too. Yeah. He was like, if you guys would have taken that tour that you had planned, they would have ridden by and told you this is Michael Jackson's house and this is Justin Bieber's house and this is Oprah's house, and none of those people live on this island, which kind of blew my mind because
you thought they did.
From all of the dumb reality shows I've spent my time watching, I was like, there's no house here? And he was like, no, they just lie to you. They want to make this place seem cool. You paid for an excursion. And I was like, I'm so glad we got in your taxi today because I knew I learned the most in that 30-minute cab drive with that driver than I did anywhere else. So yeah, that was St. Martin. We got off out of our taxi, got back to the port. Honestly, their port was pretty cool. They had some rogue chickens and hens, which is, when we went to Puerto Rico, that was the only thing I wanted to see was the street chicken, and I saw none.
We saw one briefly. It was almost like the Loch Ness Monster, like you saw like the...
Yeah. But this port had them running around, and then we got us some $2, what was it, Carib?
Yeah.
Like Caribs. Corona?
Yeah.
Caribs. It was like a Corona. We did a little bit of shopping. I got this snazzy little fake Spirit jersey. So if you guys are Disney fans, you know all about Spirit jerseys. I did overpay. I was expecting this to be like $19.99. I'm gonna show you real quick. Am I in?
No.
So this guy was $29.99, and I was kind of like, oh shit, I should not be paying $29.99, but I'll do it. So that was, I think, is that the only thing we bought in St. Martin? Was my shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got another Carib. We both had 2 of them. And then we got back on our boat. And we went to dinner. All that good stuff. Went to bed. I woke up. So next thing you know, we woke up and we were in St. Thomas. So this was the port where our excursion was already canceled.
When we were pulling up.
Yeah. Zach did.
Because I wake up early every day.
Yeah. So. He saw all the other islands that we could have seen. It was very exciting. So we had a little bit of time to prepare for this because our excursion was canceled before the cruise had started. And again, going back to the beginning, we knew what we wanted to do on each excursion day. So St. Martin was supposed to be zipline, sort of an adventure beach day. St. Thomas was snorkeling, very relaxed beach day to St. John.
And all of them were canceled!
Port St. Thomas got canceled. I started researching immediately. I started Googling the best places to snorkel because I have Scuba Diver Pro here with me and I didn't want to take him to trash. We found a place called Cokey Beach. So we just kind of ran with it.
So what's the main one that everybody goes to?
Megan's Beach or Megan's Beach. Megan's Beach. It's undeclared the proper way to say it. So Megan or Megan's Beach is where pretty much everybody else from the ship was going.
And a lot of the excursions go there as well.
So we decided to go to Cokey Beach because I was like, I want to get away from we wanted to be away from...
I think the way it is that beach. Megan.
I still genuinely have no idea where Megan's Bay is. So we woke up and I looked down the balcony and I was like doing exactly what I did at the hotel in Orlando. I was like, Zach. There are dancers out there. There were people on stilts dancing and there was music and we could see it all from our balcony. Zach had to get his breakfast burrito from the Blue Iguana. No, it wasn't Blue Iguana. I can't remember the taco bar.
Yeah.
Was that taco bar was Blue Iguana? I thought that was the bar.
Might be.
He went to he loved those damn burritos were his stews. So he had to have a breakfast burrito before we left every morning. So we got off the ship and went immediately to our right. And that took us down like a small little alleyway, and there were all of your diamond shops and all of your little tourist like shirts and fun things like that. And there were just a bunch of people saying, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? And we were like, Cokey Beach. So they pulled an entire, these guys are open air taxis, which are actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of scary when you're on them because they go very fast or brake very heavy while you're going up and down.
Or it doesn't seem like their brakes work.
But there are times, especially open air, where you're like, goo! But still really cool. So that was $9 per person each way.
It was the same thing, like up to a certain amount of people, but it wasn't like based on your party. That was the only unfortunate part, was that they waited to fill that entire taxi up, whereas when we left from St. Martin,
we were just gone, pretty much.
Just us two.
Minus the whole fight thing where he was trying to get more people on. But
still just us two.
So
we sat there for probably 20 minutes at the port waiting for them to get more people who were trying to go to Cokey, because everybody else was trying to go to
Megan's Beach.
Megan.
But it was kind of cool because the people that got on behind us on that open air trolley, I think their excursion was canceled as well. So they were going to Sapphire Beach, which was another carnival excursion. You had the option of picking. And we actually dropped them off first. So we got to see Sapphire Beach, which was probably a 4-minute ride from Cokey Beach, but it was a resort.
Yes.
It was like a giant hotel, and I think that you used resort amenities there. So there was the resort bar, the resort, I'm sure there were chairs and like table service, all of that fun stuff. So we got to Cokey Beach, which was very, very small, and
it's just on the other side of like a peninsula, basically.
Yeah.
Where Sapphire Beach was, outcropping of land, and then that was Cokey Beach over there. But there was no resort on that side.
On that side at all. We could see Coral World, which was yet again another excursion, which looked like this weird white circular dome in the middle of the water. And from where we were, we could have snorkeled over there and checked it out. But the coral on the left side of Cokey Beach was where it was at. So I will again insert a photo and some snorkeling footage probably as I'm talking right now.
Our footage isn't that great.
I tried
the GoPro, but we didn't use it. We just had one of the
iPhone
waterproof,
pouches.
pouches.
Yeah. But when we got there, there was a bar. There were like 2 shops, so we walked up and we each got a mixed drink. I think we got mojitos. That's what we tend to do every single place we go. They accepted card and cash, so I was able to use my bank card. I used a credit card, actually. I didn't use my bank card because I'm afraid.
We have food as well, but it takes a long time from everybody we saw order food.
Yeah, and when you get out there, there are some chairs. We're still unsure if you had to pay for those or not. I'm not sure if they were out, but there were people that would come do drink service. One thing I am going to talk about.
We got offered weed in like 10 minutes.
That's what I was going to... So if you have younger children or you are sensitive to marijuana, Cokey Beach is not going to be the place for you. I
don't know about the other ones.
It reeks. There was just a man who would come take your drink order, and then low-key he'd be like, do you need some marijuana? Which I thought was hysterical. As a grown adult, it's fine. I'm sure if you had children...
She didn't do it.
I didn't do it. But I'm sure if you had kids with you, you'd be like, oh, do you smell that skunk? And you'd have to play that whole game with your kids. So that is like one little... Yeah, again, this is depending upon who you're cruising with, what your vibe is, whether you're... Doesn't matter. We were fine with it. We didn't give 2 hecks. I'm trying not to...
There were also a lot of like local families there that just...
Which made us feel cool because I felt like we were at more of like a local spot than we were a tourist destination. We weren't at a resort. We saw little kids that were born and raised in St. Thomas playing in the water, and
it's a weird detail.
I thought it was cool to see the kids. I thought it was cool to see families, and that's what they do on their Tuesdays that we were there. But they were just splashing around in the water, having a good time. So that was some of the best snorkeling experience that I think we had, because in St. Martin there wasn't any snorkeling.
The beach is like roped or buoyed off. As far as where you're supposed to swim, it doesn't go out very far, but you can go to the left towards like the actual
mountain
wall?
formation. Yeah.
The side of the mount. And there is where we saw a lot of the cooler stuff.
Oh, what did I see that I was so excited about?
Cuttlefish.
I saw cuttlefish. I was so excited.
They were little babies.
They were little babies. At first, I was like, are they squid? I thought I saw, there was a lot of things. Also,
cephalopods.
if you are not an avid snorkeler, this is just a fun, awkward, like nervous Trek thing that I'm going to throw in there. But I was communicating with a man. I never really looked at him. I was talking to someone the whole time. It wasn't Zach. I was just in my snorkel mode. I started pointing at the cuttlefish. I was like, cuttlefish, cuttlefish. And I turned around and I looked, and it was not Zach. It was another man that was just snorkeling with us in our vicinity. And I was like, and then he came over and
terrible dive or snorkel partner.
He told me, let's head back, and then never headed back. So
I didn't have fins.
I can't really swim that well. He's a scuba diver. Halfway into this,
I had no fins, and I said, let's go back. And she just went.
I went back, like he told me to do.
15 minutes later.
Pull. Who's right? If you say let's go back and someone heads back, pull right now. Team Ashley.
Anybody who dies
Team
is going to
Zach.
be on my side.
You told me to turn back, so I turned back.
Team Z. She didn't even know her.
Team A.
A for abandoned.
Or Team Deathly Hollows. Let's go Harry Potter nerds.
But we saw some cool stuff. We saw some fishies. There were some reports of octopus. I didn't personally see them.
I only saw cuttlefish.
I thought I saw some arms at one point doing out of the coral, but yeah, there's a lot of marine life there, and they're not shy.
They were cool.
Yeah,
it was.
As soon as you enter the water, like a lot of the smaller fish are hanging out right near you.
Yeah. So St. Thomas was one that I wasn't super stoked on, like stopping at, because I wanted to go to St. John and I was being spoiled, and our excursion was canceled, and I did wah wah wah. And then we got to Cokey Beach, and I saw the actual snorkeling experience, and that to this day will probably be one of the coolest experiences of my life. To be very honest, like it was.
Until I get her to jump out of an airplane.
It's never gonna happen. Once we got out of the water, we walked back. We went and got another drink. I think we got beers, right, at that point. Or no, I probably got another mixed drink. You got a beer?
I think we got all our drinks beforehand. We just got back on the taxi.
Yeah, we were there for probably 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we probably got there at like 11. And then at 2, our open air taxi person was supposed to come meet us back, but we were like 30 minutes late for it. So we were like, oh, we'll get another one. And then we walked up, and that exact taxi was still sitting there just loading. So we had no problem with that at all. And because we didn't want to be pier runners, we made our way back to the port at St. Thomas.
At least the pier.
Or the pier. And from there, brief history. We haven't really told you guys. Zach's a brewer. I'm a sales rep for a brewery. So there was a brewery right near the port called Leatherback Brewing. Mm-hmm. And we were like, we got to stop in. We got to see what they have to offer. And that was probably one of the most rad experiences we had, because I feel like we developed relationships with those people that will probably last for a good amount of time. So we started off going in and just ordering some beer. I will say they are still very strict on mask rules and staying 6 feet apart. So as soon as you walk in, the bartender was there telling you to please, dear God, put your mask on. And even when you're sitting at the bar, if you haven't ordered a drink, you still have to have your mask on.
Correct.
Very, very strict. And she was like looking around at the bar saying, put your mask back on.
They enforce that.
Yeah.
Pretty strictly. If just somebody comes in and sees it, they'll get a citation. So she was pretty cool. The bartender was really cool. Once we got him into her time, we were able to kind of explain that we both work for a brewery, and she immediately went and found the brewmaster. Is he the brewmaster there? The lead brewer, head brewer? Yeah.
The head brewer for Leatherback.
Yeah.
So we got to, I didn't. Shout out Jose! So he was super rad, and Zach was able to go back and actually kind of look at the brewing facilities and have some good chats with him.
And they have great beer.
They had great beer. They had really, really good beer. I feel like their main, like their flagship location was in St. Croix.
Yes.
So they have a bigger brewery in St. Croix. So if you go to St. Croix, go check them out. But they did have a little, like a...
It's kind of their pilot brewery.
Pilot brewery.
Yeah.
In St. Thomas. And it's right off of...
With Jose.
The pier, with Jose. And they were so good. So then from there, we went shopping. I'm going to show you guys a few little things so you can kind of get some prices in mind.
Oh.
So I bought this Christmas ornament. Oh God, the glare is so bad. I'm so sorry. But it says Virgin Islands, St. Croix, St. Thomas. And you can see that price tag, $8.99. So we got this really nice, genuine solid brass ornament with all of the Virgin Islands on it. And then I also bought...
It's broken now.
This tie-dye hoodie. So St. Thomas, this was $29.99, which I was kind of surprised about. I thought
Because it was the same as your shirt.
It was the same as my shirt.
I don't know how it cut.
Also, this is a weird side note, but Leatherback, there are not open container laws in St. Thomas. So we were running close to our call time for Carnival, and I still wanted to buy some crap. And she was like, do you want to take these to go? I can pour them in plastic cups and you can take your beers to go. And we were like, yes, please. We had no idea that was an option. So we were able to finish our day with our beers in our hands, walking around, doing our shopping. And then from there, we went to get back on the boat. And
Oh, yeah.
I had a lot of fun dancing. Zach took some awkward videos where I thought it was a photo and it was a video, which we will insert, or you probably already saw in the intro. And
Did we put that in the intro?
I put it in the intro.
Oh.
And then from there we got back on the boat. And I think that was the first time we made our main dining reservation.
And the only time.
And the only time we made our main dining room reservation was
It happened
after...
to be the only time the other people weren't there at their table.
Yeah, apparently the other people at our table were like, where are these people? And then we got there and they're like, yeah, they've been asking for you. Now they didn't show up. And we were like, aw, crap. But we'll do a whole nother review on the dining deck activities, our stateroom, all that fun stuff. But the next video that we're going to do will be the last two ports that we did. So it was San Juan, Puerto Rico. And then we went to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, which was my favorite. So I can't wait to do this video with you guys and fill you in on all the cool stuff we did in Jurassic Park. It's not really Jurassic Park, but think about it, guys. Amber Cove. Amber.
Mosquitoes. In syrup. From trees.
It was the Dominican Republic, guys. Jurassic Park was based off of the Dominican Republic, which is so freaking cool. All right.
So Ashley will be out of town for work for the next week.
I'm rolling to Atlanta. I'm going to try to vlog some of that as well so you guys can see what Atlanta's like if you're not from here. But please remember to like, share, subscribe.
Canceled!
Yeah, we probably got canceled at some point in this video. Also, thank you to everybody watching and liking.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing.
We really appreciate it. We're still rolling with it. So we really appreciate you guys actually watching and giving feedback and saying, that's not right. Or, yeah, we were there with you. We really appreciate all that feedback. We'll have more cool footage. Hopefully, I think we have some stuff from the Halloween party. We'll talk about Halloween parties at one point if you're doing like a holiday cruise on Carnival.
Our next cruise will be January 28th. I think I mentioned it before.
29th, Bubba.
We'll be leaving on the 28th.
So go to Galveston.
Galveston. I heard that's the French way of saying it.
Galveston.
On the Vista. And
Gaston, no one like Gaston. But yeah, again, please like, subscribe, share. Zach, you gotta say it one time. Tell them what they gotta do.
please believe in us.
And like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate you. This is a Nervous Trek coming back at you with what to do when you didn't book an excursion and what to do when your excursion's not canceled, because holy guacamole, Carnival gave us one excursion that we booked, so we will come back to you guys with all that fun stuff.
You're shaking. It's a video.